Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Observable Flutter. My name is Craig Labenz, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be diving into the animation state machine design editing tool, Rive. This is basically my first time ever exploring Rive, playing with it. So I am a total noob, and I'm excited to figure it out with you all. All right. You may recall that this is the Flutter community, and we do want to do our best to live up to the standard that we set for ourselves. So please do your best to do that. And I don't think there's really a ton else to worry about here. So, Hendrik, hello from Nigeria. Are you in Nigeria every day? I presume that is the case. Nigeria home for you. Randall, hello from the east, from the left coast. Oh, I've never heard it called the left coast before, but that's also my coast. Left coast, best coast, something like that. Okay, well, some might say that this was an interesting choice for a topic. Oh, I love the roll call. Brazil, Bahia, Gandu. Well, is that 3 places or 1 place? More Nigeria? More Nigeria? Oh, no, yes, more Nigeria. Or are you saying hi to someone else from Nigeria? No, no, that's yourself. Great. A lot of Nigeria. Sudan, a lot of Africa, India, Colombia. Oh, chat came through. Egypt, more Colombia. Man, all right. This is great. Great to see you all. Okay. So, I don't know anything about Rive. Not really, anyway. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. I didn't. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn. For those outside of the States, that is a funny advertising campaign where people sign up for jobs that they're not qualified to do. And upon everyone realizing that they lied on their resume, they say, well, I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. And it's really very good. It's very funny. Oh yeah. Why is the Flutter logo transparent? Well, because it's teal on this shirt, and the chroma key matching the green screen behind me just picks up teal as well. So I am a 2D transparent avatar today with no guts, no lungs, no soul. There's nothing to me. I am a projection, not real. I am a figment of your imagination. Just like my Rive skills. They are a figment of everyone's imagination. Now, what I did do, I'm going to pull up the old YouTube here and then switch to that screen in just a second. Rive editor tutorial. What I did do was watch a handful of videos. Well, let me go to the correct screen here. From Rive's getting started stuff. And I watch them on my personal YouTube, not the actual Flutter YouTube. So we don't see any stuff here, any watch history. But this morning, I chewed through probably 20 of these videos on various things, like, 30% of these in total of how many videos they have. And I'm really not an expert at all, but I, to some tiny extent, know what buttons to click, and that's what we're gonna try to build on today. What is the future of Flutter? Well, there's actually just a great, there was a great conference in Seoul, Korea last week where I was, called Future Flutter, and that was all laid out there. No, just kidding. Future Flutter is hopefully great success, just like the past of Flutter. I do not play League of Legends. MOBAs never really did it for me. I used to play a lot of RTSs, So StarCraft is my favorite game ever. I used to play a lot of Warcraft 3, which is where the MOBA genre was birthed from. But I've never played. No, I did play League of Legends once for like an afternoon, but it wasn't it just didn't do it for me. I want to click more. I want to go like in StarCraft. No guests today. This topic was chosen very last second, which is why I'm still so bad at Rive. Ideally, I would have given myself more runway and practiced more in advance, but that did not happen. So I have the Rive window here, and this is what I did practicing. Watch what I made. Look, it's a pendulum, and it swings, and there's text. Pretty good, huh? Yeah. So I know a couple buttons to click. I'm really, really bad still at Rive. And what I kind of want to do today is just like make a button that has maybe a neat little glow effect when you either click it or hover or something. And ideally export it and run it in Flutter. I don't know if I'm going to get that far because I've definitely never done that. I presume it starts with this export button here. Oh yeah, see, I just exported something. But then like, probably go to pub and look up Rive and read the documentation there. So I don't know how far I'll get on that part. Might just be in the editor today. Might actually get to some code. I don't know. We'll see. Or that's all ambitious still. Okay. Let's make a new thing here. From JavaScript to Flutter with RiverPod, you don't need anything else. Oh, no, we're talking about state management, of course. Naturally, yes. Always state management. All right, here we go. Yeah, new file. Oh, so there's a little bug flying around me. How annoying. So I'm going to try to offer an intro to Rive tutorial as I go, which will boy, am I not qualified to give that tutorial. B, it'll be a review for me of what I just learned 90 minutes ago. And if you have never used Rive before, then maybe you'll get something out of it. If you have used Rive before and you're watching live, please do not hesitate to tell me what to do in the chat. If I'm stuck and you're like, dude, the button's on the right and it's right there and you click it, please tell me that, because this is a team effort. Now, the base of all Rive thingamajiggers projects is an artboard. That's the canvas. That's where everything goes. So we will begin by creating an artboard into which all of our effects will live. Now, ideally, what I'd really like to do ultimately, and one day get good enough with Rive to be just super fluent executing, is to have a button with an empty text field and like a customizable width depending on the text. And then I export that and I actually set the text in code in Flutter. That would be the way to really have flexible buttons, especially with localization and whatnot. Would never be able to make every button here. I don't know how to do that. No mute button. Wait, did I mute myself last time? Normally I just stopped sharing my screen. Maybe I muted myself as well. I do. I screw up in all the ways. So I believe you that I muted myself. Yeah, maybe I'll actually just go in my backyard and do the rest of the stream from there. Leave the camera running, whole setup, and then I just go talk to myself in the backyard. That'd be a good stream. Anyway, I don't know how to do what I just said with the button thing. So we can explore that today. Here's the text tool. Maybe there's a way to like have the actual text value be programmatic. Anyway, to start making this button, I'm going to create a rectangle and we'll put that right in. Oh, I actually misclicked already. I'm so good at this. All right, rectangle. I could have pressed R. So I don't, another thing, the aspect ratio, I'm not sure how to make that flexible either. Anyway, I'll probably do hard-coded text first and then we'll see. Now, you can kind of center this with some of these alignment tools up here. So I'll center it horizontally and then center it vertically. And we can give it some rounded borders here. I think this corner is the border radius. So if I put 8 here, yes, all right, we have a couple rounded corners. I'll make this a little bigger. So 8 is seeming not big enough. I think all of these numbers are just really big. This is a big button. What about Lottie files? I've never used Lottie either. So I don't know really anything about that. I know there's some compatibility layer because you can import Lottie files in your assets here. We see, maybe I need to make this bigger. Can I make the whole UI bigger? No. Okay. Anyway, does this work? Yeah, there it is. So Lottie can be imported into Rive. And that's the extent of what I know because I've never used Lottie either. All right. So back to design. Oh, the hierarchy, the rectangle. Okay, here we are. Great. So there's a concept also of shapes and paths. This is the path underlying our rectangle. I'm not going to do any editing with this path, but it is there and there's points and you can kind of edit them. This is a smart shape right now. You can almost, it's not really rasterize it, but it's, if you squint, it's kind of like rasterizing it where you can just get the raw points and then it's not a smart rectangle anymore, but you can adjust the points however you want. I'm not going to do any of that. What I want to do is create a little animation, maybe like a lighting effect kind of sliding over it, a little gradient or something. It's not going to look good because I'm not a designer and I don't know what I'm doing. And play with that and maybe put some state machine animation on it where it's triggerable. Nah, I probably won't get into that. Also, I don't know much about it. So let's pick some button values here. Oh, I hit enter and enter drills into the hierarchy. So after I changed the color and I pressed enter, my selection went down to path. I bet these are things you must get used to, but they're confusing for me. Let's add a stroke to this, which will of course need to not be white. I don't think a stroke is a great design idea, but great design ideas aren't the point of this. Oh, as I heard, you can downgrade to a specific Rive version to prevent the app size. Oh, I see. There's other stuff here. Note for later time. Flutterbuild APK release provides adding Rive 74 megabytes. So that's probably just the rendering engine because Rive has, they have their own file format, but they use SVGs. And I think they have a pretty hefty rendering engine that actually knows how to chew through this file and spit out the frames and whatnot. So 50 megabytes for that does seem pretty big, but surely, that's what's going on there. Okay. My career motto is not watching stuff while people, or not knowing stuff while people are watching. And boy, is that what is happening today. Now, another thing that you want to do that I learned from the videos is think about grouping really in advance. So I want to already make a new group here, which I think I can do with Command G. All right, nice. That made a new group, and it would of course be Control G on Windows. And so this one I'm going to call button. And then you generally want to make another group, and we call this one root. And the reason for this is I can now apply like animation level stuff to the actual button group. And then if this was in a broader scene, which it isn't, I could move the whole thing around by modifying the root. So maybe I would call it like button root, because I would need this if there were other objects. Then if I didn't namespace it, it'd just be root, 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 root. So you can apply different transformations to this button within your broader scene by applying them to this group here. And then to edit the actual button itself, it has its own group, something like that. Now let's put some text on this button, and I'm going to call it, for starters, button, and it needs a new color. And it needs, all right, let's make this actually good here. So I want to center this text, right? I want to have it do this and this. Now I think it's only centered in the button because it's centered in the canvas, and the button is also centered in the canvas, but that isn't really what I want, because if I move the button, the text won't go with it. But of course, to fix that, first of all, undo, and we put the text in the button, and now they should all move together. So when I grab the button and move it around, looking good. If you're a big design tool person, then this is some of the most obvious stuff you've ever seen. Now, another detail you can have here is the origin. And this is kind of the point from which all the math begins. And it begins on the upper left corner with 0%. But I feel like I kind of want to make it 50-50. That always just seems kind of more natural to me. And then once I recentered that origin by clicking these buttons, it goes back in the middle. Now I want this text to be bigger. Of course, for real, I want the text to be flexible based on the size. What does this do? Whoa. Oh, is this the font? It is the font. Well, they got a lot of fonts. Cool. It'd be nice to render each font here, but they are loading fast. They do feel preloaded. They render really quickly. I'd love to see all the fonts in their own font in the font dropdown. What do you think? Should we spend the rest of the stream looking for the perfect font? Ooh, wow. This one is that's a font, all right. All right, now I want to make the text bigger. Oh yeah, normally, so I was rotating it, struggling to get it exactly right. But once you press shift, then you start snapping to 45-degree angle. Oh no, that's not what I want. I'm really bad at this so far. All right, Gordon says, should only be a few megabytes on Android, but the APK will reflect multiple architecture libs. That doesn't reflect the download side in the App Store. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Gordon. Yeah, Google Fonts, right? Yeah. Randall, yeah, I think the Rive editor is written in Flutter. It sure is written in Flutter. That is 100% correct. Rive, one of the coolest functional demos of a big time Flutter web and desktop app. All right, I want to make the text bigger. No, that's moving it. There we go. So this might allow this text to, okay, cool. Take the full possible size of the button. But now we need to center the text again. So that's probably, here we go. And there we go. Nice. So now the button could be bigger. And if we make the font size bigger, is this the font size? 30? Cool. All right. This font was cute, except it's really totally illegible. So I'm not going to keep it. There was one that was really standard. Okay, whatever. going with this? Oh, that's an odd font. It doesn't even look vertically centered. Do you have Consolus? Consolus. Or whatever. No, not changing the font again. You're sat? Wait a minute. That name looks Nigerian as well. Are you Nigerian? Is 10% of the viewing audience Nigerian today? If so, that's awesome. Okay. Let's put like a little glare effect on it. Oh, I probably want the background to not be white for the glare effect. 100% Nigerian in the audience. That's the best. So let's have the lighting effect be white, but then the background can't be white. So rectangle, change this to, maybe let's make this that red. That could be good. And then the text can be like a darker red. So maybe this will be even lighter. Remember, I'm not a designer, and that will be continually apparent this whole time. Okay, so this button is like a you done screwed up button. Oh yeah, and then we got that stroke, which is currently the same color, so that's super pointless. All right. Now what I kind of want to do is add, what was the way to add we had a second fill. That's how this works. Yeah, second fill. So this will be like the lighting effect fill, I think. Can you go down, please? Can you go up? All right, cool. So a second. Oh, no. Yeah, we'll have to put this one up top. And then we'll animate its opacity. I always need a designer. This is my entire life. I always need a designer. All right. That's so cool. They're incredible Nigeria turnout today. I love it. So let's have this be, it's already on a linear gradient. So I guess it was smart enough to know you have a second fill. Maybe you want that to be a gradient. And the first color will be white. And then the second color, oh, interesting. Okay, so we can like kind of move this around like this. And I guess that's fine. So this would be our effect. But now I want to animate this. And how do I change this color? Oh, there we are. So right now, what do you want? Oh, that's on black. Okay, and the opacity was set to like almost 0, so that's not good. Maybe we do a darker red. I'm just clicking really random values here. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm going to put a little lower opacity on this as well. I want it to be a little more subtle. All right, I don't know. Maybe this is good. Agree on which front? We need a designer. Yeah, Randall, make it functional, but not pretty. We'll see if we even get to functional today. That'll be such a win. Oh boy, if we get functional. Now, I want to animate this light effect. So we're going to go to the animate board, and now this is when stuff starts to get exciting. So state machine, I don't think I'm going to get into this today because there's only going to be on and off. Although maybe you actually have to have a state machine for this. Like maybe when I export this and put it into Flutter code, the animation will just run, willy-nilly, and I'll have to get into the state machine to control it. I don't know. As I'm thinking about it, that seems likely. But to animate something, you look for this diamond button next to anything. And I'm kind of in the way here, so let me hide myself. There's diamonds like a Rihanna song all over this inspector. And that's the button that you press to create a key. And a key is just a moment in time in the timeline for that value. And wrong button. And once you create a key, you can then start to interpolate the value over time. So I want to, oh yeah, by the way, so this is the timeline thing. So we have here it is. So it's a 1 second animation. Again, apologies. This text is all pretty small. I think I can only make the canvas bigger, not the whole UI. Yes, keyframes just like in Adobe. Yes, if you've used After Effects before, which I have not, but I think all these things use the same techniques. Even like Figma has simple animation. I imagine that's also very similar. So I've got a 1 second animation window going right now. And then you can kind of set also, do you want it to just play once? Do you want it to loop? Do you want it to go forward and backwards? Et cetera, et cetera. And then, oh yeah, this is, the graph is different. I haven't figured out how to make make the graph useful to me. So I want to animate this thing. All right, so this is now on the timeline. What I'm realizing as I'm doing this is I kind of wanted to animate like the opacity of this fill. Oh, maybe this is opacity. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that key. Let's try this again. I got really far. All right, I'm going to click the rectangle so I have the correct thing. And let's see, is this opacity? So if I do 0, cool, that's opacity, 100. So, and it'd also be fun to animate the position so the lighting effect kind of slides over the button. That would be neat. But we'll worry about that in a second. So in the beginning of the animation, it's going to be 0. And then let's go halfway through the animation. So 30 frames because it's 60 frames per second. Now I'll add another key, except I'm going to set the value here to 0. And then I'll go to the end and we'll add another key and set it back to 100. So it's going to go from 100 to 0 to 100. And that way, if we loop it, it will kind of be a continuous loop as opposed to going to the end and jumping back to the beginning. So I'm going to set the playback style to loop and now play the animation. And we see the really, really beautiful gradient coming and going. And it's just the best. Wow. Sigh. Dropping an entire command in the chat. That's helpful. Get out of here. What is this bug doing? All right, now the question is, can I animate the gradient itself? Oh, that would be so cool, but I don't know how to do it because, well, I don't know. I guess let's just find out here. So I'm going to go to 0 and let's click this. And do we get, stop 1, stop 2. Yeah. Oh, Rive. Good stuff. So stop 1. Well, I don't see it. Interesting. I don't think I'm going to animate stop 2. Stop 2 is fine. Can I delete it? What if I delete stop 2? All right, stop 1 stays here. That's cool. So now let's go to the middle and let's change stop 1. So we're on stop 1 and I want to change its position to here, which I have chosen randomly. Oh, no, that's gradient start. Well, I guess I don't need this stop. I don't know what you do then. I'm just going to get rid of it. All right, so I've adjusted the middle point, and now let's go to the end and set it back to the original value, rectangle. So here we are. Stop. So I've added another keyframe. Oh boy, I don't even know. Or maybe I just do this again to kind of where it was before. Okay, that seems reasonable. But I don't think I added a keyframe in the start. So I'll do that again. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay. So I've got all these stop one, stop twos. I'm going to delete those. I don't care. But I believe by clicking a point on the timeline and then in the editor, just adjusting the gradient, which again, I was covering for a bit of. So I just kept kind of coming in here and dragging this around underneath my own head so no one was seeing it. And, oh, poor Gemini. Unfortunately, you can't animate gradient colors within a Rive animation. So our confidence in that fact is like 10%. No, maybe 50%. It's a coin toss. All right, let's see. Does this work? I'm going to play the animation. Yeah. Yeah, that's working. And it's really pretty. It's so pretty. It's not pretty. But I think it's even already enough to export and try to put into some Flutter code. Yeah, everyone killed that bug. Everyone with a human brain who's read the documentation knows the actual answer. Oh, Andy. Great little data point here. App with Rive, 15 megabyte download size in the Play Store. So it bloats the app in some modes, but not the full release mode. Yeah, Gemini not necessarily the best at updating. No, I mean no LLM is, right? If you think about what they're doing, weighting different tokens and whatnot, if they've read one detail for all of time and then they read like release notes that change that detail, seems like it's a big engineering challenge to have them realize that should invalidate all of the old information, and then thus they're not very good at it. All right, let's export this and see what we get. Yeah, export. Okay, Rive 3. Ho ho ho. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, show and finder. Okay, get out of here. So Rive 3, I'm going to rename. This is off screen right now. Oops. Come back here. Button.rive. And let's try to get this into some Flutter code. So I will now begin by going to pub.dev, searching for Rive. Huh, it's funny. Rive is a substring of RiverPog. Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. Powerful tool, all the stuff, different things, choosing a renderer. Note on impeller. Oh, impeller replace Skia. As such, there's a possibility of rendering and performance discrepancies when using the Rive runtime editor with platforms that use impeller. Okay, so what I'm gathering here is that Rive basically still uses Skia. Try running the thing with Skia if the visual discrepancy. Oh, it's funny. The no enable impeller, isn't that going away? Am I hallucinating that? This is the one way that I really try to cut LLMs a little slack, is like I hallucinate too. I can't remember if this is real or if I'm making this up. But I felt like ability to turn off impeller is going away. Anyway, I'm not worried about visual discrepancies yet. So general help docs. This is probably what we want. Intro. There we go. Well, this looks complicated to make. Imagine. We didn't get this far. This dwarf character with a sweet looking axe. Yeah, my little button, not as cool. All right, where's the quick start? Fundamentals. Wait, is this for the editor? Oh yeah, no, I just want to use the package. It's really crazy how much stuff is in Rive, like all this game stuff they have. I haven't even gotten into bones and ringing yet. All right, wait a minute. Maybe I don't want that. I just want to use the package. Overview of Rive. Getting started? No. Getting started with Rive and Flutter. Where was that in the tool I was just on? Runtimes, Flutter. Cool. There we go. Let's begin. This summer, a giant moron is going to use Rive. Coming to an editor near you. Flutter, create empty Rive sample. There's a new version of Flutter available every day when you're on the master channel. Today is one such day. Autobots, roll out. My wife and I watched, what's that movie again? Transformers, like probably 3 or 4 months ago, one night randomly. And it's still super fun. The original one, you know? I mean, it's just so silly. It's so ridiculous. But like, if you just turn your brain off, it's still really fun. All right, code, Rive, sample. All right. So let's get you in here. Pub spec, not YAML. Make the code big so we can read it with our eyes. Failed to resolve. Well, today's not a server pod day, so not worrying about that. Okay, let's add Rive as a dependency. There it is. Added Rive. Okay. Now we need to add that to our project file, which I'm going to do here real quick. Where was that? Oh, yeah, dev. Flutter devrel. Where in the alphabet is the letter R? Rive sample. Okay, here we go. So in the assets directory that doesn't exist yet, assets. I'm going to bring in button.rive. There you go. Okay. Via URL. No, that's not what we want. Here we go. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back. Where's our assets? We don't have them. Very good. It's button.rive for us. Looking good. Okay. All right. So now we're going to be able to bring in the Rive asset. Things are getting pretty exciting. Main.dart. And this is probably not the place where you really do it, but, you know, what do you want? All right. We're off to a bad start. Maybe it just can't be outside the main method. Very good. Nice. So this will be final. We'll call this the button. And you're a button. And then we've got final, late button. And that's going to be a Rive animation. Late final. I don't know how this language works. Okay. Woo! Oh, that's the widget. All right, we're off to a bad start. I should actually read the documentation a little more before I... Yes, that is the widget. Look at that. Rive animation is the widget. Gordon? So glad you're here. Okay, so what I was going to do wasn't going to work. Not even a little bit. I will keep the const. I kind of imagined I was like loading the... just the asset, like if you were going to load an image, but the image being different than the image widget. Anyway, doesn't matter. I was wrong. Flutter, run, Mac OS. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, this const is redundant, but I don't care. I do not care. That's not the goal of today. Today's not a stream about const now, is it? It's a stream about Rive. Nice opportunity. Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you the way that I am constantly bedeviled in the editor, although it'll probably work perfectly now. Earlier, so like when I was going through the pendulum tutorial, which was again all of 2 hours ago, there was the thing about putting the putting this group here so that you could test the rotation and make sure it swings from the right place. And I don't know where to click to actually do this rotation. Okay, I'm going to look at you in a second. Also, I saw no button, so I have to do something. So when I click there, it goes away, and then I click back. So it's like outside the circle. Nope, that doesn't work. Outside everything, that doesn't work. I don't know why I am suddenly struggling to actually rotate this thing. Like other times it just, oh, so clicking there worked. I don't know. What's the difference? So does clicking here work? No, clicking there didn't work. Clicking here worked. So do you just have to click between the X and the Y? Is that what we do? Anyway, this was one thing that was really the green and the red lines. This is one thing that was just getting me. You can set the original position using the freeze tool. Oh yeah, I did use the freeze tool. Where was that again? Yeah. Okay, so I froze it. I don't remember why. I did use this because it was in the tutorial. I don't remember why I used it. Like what was the task there? Oh, maybe that was to move the center of the thing. Is that what we did during the freeze tool? Oh no, I don't even know how to click on it anymore. Oh, whoa. Well, this is not what I want. Anyway, I'm a beginner. Don't worry too much about what I'm confused by. I'm confused by everything. Okay, nice. Unable to load asset. Assets button.rive. Didn't load. Get load, get load, get load. Dev. Wait, do I have the Finder window? No, I appear to have closed it because I'm so smart. Rive sample. Assets button.rive. Okay, so seems like there it is. Assets button.rive. And if we go to pubspec.yaml, the asset does not exist or has empty data. Oh. I've never actually read the failed to load an asset thing before. Well, it has data. It's got 348 kilobytes of data. Look at that. Oh, it's behind my head. Yeah, it's got data. Flutter pub get. Do I have to do that for asset that I added? I don't remember. Wait, someone says apparently we do have to run a pub get. You'd think I, work on Flutter. All right, no, same asset does not, no, same error. Am I putting assets in the wrong spot? Nest assets under Flutter. I'm so smart. Oh, right. See, this is why I keep you guys around and gals. All right, so now we'll have to do. Do we really have to do a pub get? We can't run it from scratch if it's like a disk asset. This might not work, but oh, okay, there we go. Oh, all right. So it plays, and the whole artboard is there. Not what we wanted. So back to the editor. Let's fix those things. Okay. So I want to change the artboard dimensions, and I want them to be the same as the button. So the button's dimensions are 250. No, that's the position. What's your size, my friend? Probably have to click on the rectangle. Okay. These convenient numbers, 238 by 89. Obvious. Okay, size here, width 238 by 89. And then can we go down? Oh, the button is gone. Well, I know I want you to be transparent overall. Where did the button go? Oh, the button is down here because of reasons. I'm not going to pretend. It's probably because that's how it was relative. Its origin was relative to that origin of the board before. So the artboard is unexpectedly taller than the button. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Height of 89 and a height of 103. Didn't I type 89? I guess I dragged the value around. All right, let's center the button. Great. Export again. Open in Finder. I'm going to update this. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to rename the download to button. I'm going to fail. I'm going to attempt and fail to rename it to button.rive. And now I'm going to drag it in and replace. And of course, macOS pops every possible window up on a different monitor. Never the same monitor twice in a row. Because then the Easter egg hunt isn't as exciting. All right, you go away. Yeah, YAML. Yet another. Oh, gorgeous. But of course, again, macOS never pops anything up on the same screen twice. So the text is really tall, or it's really high. I don't remember that. And yeah, we're figuring it all out together, right? Text is really tall, high in the button. The stroke is a little uneven. I probably screwed that up with my cropping. Oh, if the stroke is like partially outside, then maybe the canvas does have to be a little taller. Let's make the canvas 91. And now if I go to the button and center it, I bet that will be like better. Okay. We see all the stroke now, but look, the text here is not high in the button, and yet it is high in the button here. This could be the aforementioned Skia thing. It literally tried to warn me, and I was like, get out of here. So where was that? Apparently not here. Let's go back. Was it on the previous page? Aha, there it was. So let's do no enable impeller. I don't even know if impeller runs on macOS. I genuinely don't know. I do not know. Okay, that either did nothing or or it did nothing for a different reason. Either the error didn't come from impeller or impeller was never turned on in the first place. let's try to troubleshoot this. I mean, I'm going to fail, but what's going on here? Is there a way that I can position the text more smartly? Like your origin, what if the text went in the rectangle? Oh, that just makes it not render. Okay, I don't think that actually matters. So your origin is 50-50. Animate mode and see what it looks like there. Okay. Now, is what you were wondering how it immediately shows up on the artboard in animate mode, or are there other details that you were thinking about? Yeah, the origin and we have, so this is our baseline. What if I like put it at the bottom and export it that way? I wonder what's going to happen then. This is interesting. Little test. Rename, drop it in again. Button dot Rive. Finally remembered to mute before I cleared my throat. And in goes the button in the confirm window's over here. And who knows what window the app will start up in. Rive Flutter will play the default animation. So if the text was keyed to animate, that would tell us, it could tell us something. Yeah. Show it like that, not as in design mode. Right. Okay. That makes sense. But the text is still high. Now we did fix the stroke issue. So that was cool. So the stroke must be like some in, some out. Maybe that's, the stroke can fill either inside on the border or all outside. So it must be kind of split like that. So the 89 height actually grew to 91 if we had some stroke above, some stroke below. I'm super hand wavy here, but I'm guessing it's something like that. Anyway, fixed one issue. Button, not so fixed yet. Also, let's make this be, let's give this the old sized box. And this is way too big now. And the sized box is going to have, is there like a size constructor of this? So we can not pass in the height and the width separately. Oh, nothing takes a size. Wouldn't you have thought the sized box would take a size instead of a height and width only? So I think it was 238 and the height, though, that was width. And the height is 91. Refresh. Okay. Definitely getting some odd clipping on the stroke now. 240. Help our aspect ratio out a little bit. No visible change. See you folks who are headed out. It was a pleasure having you here. Gradient background looks like a thumb. You have an interesting relationship with thumbs. All right. This text. Really interesting. So we don't have, the text is not keyed for anything. That was a good thought. And if I go back to text, we can center it here. Yeah, so this is like wrap. Fixed size, auto width. Oh, this is interesting. So I had it on fixed size, but now I'm going to put it on auto width. Let's put it on auto height because that was the issue. Oh, this is interesting. I actually don't really, why wouldn't I be able to have auto width and auto height? Oh, this is for the size. Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to give it auto height. Let's see what this does. Yes. Okay, untitled here. This is now button to Rive. Oh, I'm really enjoying this rename drop-in process. Replace. And get rid of this flag. Okay, so the feature that I just turned on, which I think is what you're talking about there with the automatically resizable fonts. Wow. But it did fix it. Exactly as I was going to say, won't fix it. It did fix it. Oh. Yeah, I do believe that Gordon works at Rive. Hence the high concept tips and assistance. Okay, that seems to have fixed it. So auto height. So I think it was because all right. I think I might have a theory for this. When I had, no, I don't. I think there may be a kind of rendering bug here. So when I had fixed height, the height value was nearly the same height as the entire box. So the available vertical space, and Gordon, I'm not talking to you because you probably know the actual answer. I'm thinking out loud as if you weren't here. uh, so available space for the text was nearly the total available height of the box itself. And then I would, of course, think that the center align vertically here would bring it back into the middle, but it somehow didn't. Once we auto heighted it, then it didn't have all the available height, and like somehow that cascaded into it behaving as expected. Well, hey, Gordon, yeah, thanks for the assistance there. And let's see, what did you say here? Exciting updates coming to the Rive Flutter runtime to share the core C++ runtime with the editor that uses. To share the core C++ runtime that the editor uses with Rive Flutter. That's awesome. Must have been a big FFI related effort there, I'm guessing. I wonder if did you use FFI Gen for that? And are you using the native assets feature? Now I have so many questions about how you're talking to that C++ blob from Flutter. And yeah, if you had any interesting details at all making that conversion, also you may have already left. Might not be hearing any of this, but I'd love to hear about your effort there. Okay, anyway. All right, so we got a button, and now what I think I want to do is to try and actually drive the animation so it doesn't just play in the app without any engagement. Like I want to click on it or hover on it or something to start this. Funny Rive puns in the chat. All right. So let's go back and read some documentation about the state machine. There, yeah, actually, so let's look at the editor and see kind of what we're dealing with to start. So on the animate tab, rectangle is where all of our animation is. We see the timeline here, and then there's the state machine. And again, this isn't very big, and I apologize. I would make it bigger if I could. Oh, this almost helped, except 100% seems to be the max zoom here. Can I not go to 200%? No, 100% is the max. So we enter into timeline 1, which is the animation that we've been cooking up. And then I don't really know what you do with these things yet because I haven't watched those of the intro videos of Rive. So now we're really into uncharted waters. But Oh, events? What's event? Do I just like type anything I want here? I don't know what to do with event. All right, I must be missing something. All right, we're going to have to read some documentation. Also, this may just totally fail. All right, so anatomy of a state machine, states, transitions, inputs, and layers. We're going to explore each one. So I guess I may want like a custom transition to go from nothing to turned on, right? No animation from no timeline 1 to timeline 1 is kind of what I want to be able to drive. All right, so state we understand. Yeah, that's the timeline animation. Great. Okay. Preview of states looking good. Creating transitions. All right. Inputs are the contract between designers and developers. Ooh, what a juicy sentence. I'll make this bigger. This time I can actually do it. And I'm going to get rid of myself. I'm covering words here. How am I so effortlessly switching between VS Code and the browser? Mac OS is just spaces. I'm just doing 3 fingers on my trackpad. Also, thanks for thinking it is effortless. Oh, that's really kind of you to say. As designers, we use transitions as rules. Oh, we use the contract as rules for when the transitions should occur. For example, we could have a Boolean called is hovered. Okay, I like that. That Boolean controls the transition between our idle and hovered state. All right, I'm willing to call what I've been doing right now the is hovered state. When the Boolean is true, the state machine is in the is hovered state, and when it is false, the state machine is in the idle state. Developers tie into these inputs at runtime and define actions that control. All right, this is great. I want to do the is hovered thing. So let's go back. See, there's no effortlessness here. I barely know what to click. Constraints, draw order, like timeline. Can you get a condition? No. All right, I don't know how to do a condition yet. Back to the documentation. We've got to go back to the future. All right, adding inputs and conditions. Yeah, this is what we want. Lastly, all state machines have at least one layer. Because only a single animation can play on a given layer, we have the ability to add multiple layers if we want to mix different animations or add additional interactions. For example, this state machine has multiple layers, each one with logic to control one of the buttons in the menu. Okay, I do see a lot of layers here on this little recorded GIF. All right, moving on to states. They are the timeline animations that play at any point. That makes sense. Default state. Yeah, so we have that, and that's fine. The state machine, the entry state is the state that your state machine will start from. You'll notice that by default, your state machine will already have an animation attached to the entry state, but you can change this animation at any time. All right, I see. Note that you can connect multiple animations to the entry state if you need. That's fine. Okay, so what I'm kind of thinking here is that I want to disconnect timeline 1 from entry, and then I want some event to move us out of entry into another state, and then the timeline 1 will be attached to that state, and then we'll have to re-export and like trigger that state change in code. That would be super cool. So first of all, can I disconnect? Oh, look at this create condition. Okay, can we just do this? Boolean. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is hovered. And then the starting value is going to be false. So now when I play, oh, well, we're still getting a thing. That's fine because I still don't know what I'm doing. It did not save the thing. Oh, it did. Interesting. All right, I got to keep reading. I don't know what I'm doing. yet. The exit state, that's when the state machine stops playing. This niche state has uses when multiple layers are being used. Okay. Any state. I see. Unlike normal state, states connected to any state can be played at any time, regardless of which state your state machine is in. That's fine. If you can turn states on and off, or sorry, if you can turn animations on and off within a given state, then I may not need to leave the entry state. We may need to merely connect into this. Oh, wait. Why did is hovered not get saved? Is hovered. See, it didn't do it. It didn't save. It just wants me to do Boolean 1. I want not that. All right, animation states include all the state. Oh, that's what I was just reading. No, it's not. Animation states include everything other than the default states. These states will control the look and motion of your interactive content. There are 3 different types of animation states: single, 1D, and direct blend states. I think I was just seeing that. No, that was here. Nope. Here we go. Yeah. Single, 1D, and well, I don't know. You can change the state type in the expector, slide and drop state onto the graph. Okay, I haven't made any new states yet, so I don't need to do that. Additionally, you can right-click on the graph and create a blank state. Okay, I don't need that. Single animation state. Any timeline that we create can be used as a single animation state. Depending on the type of animation you're using, a single animation could be one-shot, looping, or ping pong. In most cases, you'll be using single animation states to create most of your state machines. Okay, that seems good. I don't think I want blend because I'm not blending together 2 more animation timelines. 1D, blend, mix multiple timelines. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Add a blend state. I'm not doing any of this stuff because I'm not blending anything. Additive. I'm not doing that. Change state type. I'm not doing that. Speed. I don't care about any of that right now. Okay, let's try inputs. Inputs are the contract between designers and developers. Wasn't something else the contract between designers and developers? Haven't we already read that sentence? As designers, we use inputs as a way to control the transition of our state machine by assigning them as conditions. Developers, all right, this is what we want. This is the stuff right here. By the way, I am still here. Maybe I'll just try to not have the text in front of me. Wait, Gordon's back? Oh. Oh, look at that. All right, select the inputs panel on the left. Well, I sure will do that. Inputs panel on the left. Okay, I'm looking at the left. Inputs? Nope. Animations. I don't think that's what I want. All right, well, not gonna lie. Don't know where the inputs panel is. What are you? Event tool? What are you? Bones? No, that's not what I want. What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? Inputs? Nope. 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 Right click here. Wow, there's some birds in my backyard and they are going. Oh, I found it. Inputs. Whoa. Okay. All right. Is hovered. Now. Yeah, that wasn't it apparently. Yeah, what was the condition? How did I do that? Was it you? Was it there we go. Okay, is hovered. Starts as false. So does this mean it's not going to play? No, it's still playing. I guess I haven't like made anything depend on this maybe. So can you depend on, I don't know what an event is. Oh, from South Africa, living in the Netherlands. Nice. Nikki, select the inputs panel inside the state machine selection. Nikki, thank you. That was helpful. Had I been reading the chat, I would have seen that. Oh, listeners. Now I wonder if we're going to need to do something here. Artboard. Okay, I have no idea. Back to the documentation. All right, creating a new input. So to create a new input, use the plus button on the panel. All right, we just did that. After hitting the plus button, you'll be prompted to select the type of input you want to create. And we have a Boolean one. That's so good. Input types, true or false. Triggers are similar to Booleans, but become true for a short time. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that, but it actually sounds like what I would probably want. Trigger for an attack animation. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So it just turns itself off. I guess is hovered. No, I wouldn't want that because I'll turn it off when the user stops hovering. So smart. All right, I have an input. It's time for a transition. These supply the logical map for the state machine to follow. There are a number of considerations and configurable properties for transitions that we'll cover below. Note that we briefly discuss inputs as well, so be sure to read more about those. Okay. Creating a new transition. To create such a transition, place your mouse near the state you want to leave. Okay. Until you notice. So I'm not sure if I actually, because I haven't committed to like changing states. And maybe I need to. Maybe I need another state so that like entry one does nothing and I move into another state that has this timeline. I don't know if that's actually what I need. Let me see. Can I? All right, let's try this. So this one, how do I name you? Whoa, oh boy, I'm just. Oh, how interesting. This looks exactly like timeline one. Oh, timeline. Yeah, no, this isn't what I want. I don't think. Delete layer. Oh, God. I deleted everything. Come back. Whew! Whew! How do I just delete? How do I delete this? Can I Command Z until that goes away entirely? Good. That's delete. It's Command Z. Has the arrow direction got something to do? Well, I don't know how to turn the arrow around. Yeah, I presume that's the default. All right, got to keep reading. Also, whoever said I was effortlessly changing between things, you've really jinxed me because now my brain really thinks the documentation is over here. Actually, I'm just going to put it there because I don't appear to be smart enough to remember where it actually is. All right, now I got it. All right, so to create a transition, place your mouse near the state you want to leave until you notice the ellipse appear. Click and drag the ellipse to the state you want to transition to. Is this a GIF? Okay, it's at the bottom here. So what do we do? Oh. All right, I don't think I want to do anything like that. To click and drag until you know the state you want to transition to. Once you've connected two states, you'll notice an ellipse with an arrow icon indicating the transition's direction. Okay. Creating a transition. Note that you can create multiple transitions from one state to another. Each of these transitions can require a different condition to be met, which will fire the transition, thus giving you the ability to make OR conditions. Love it. Once you've added a transition, selecting the direction indicator will allow you to configure it. There are three different sections in the transition panel: the properties, conditions, and interpolation. All right, I'm going to revisit that and see those. Properties, I don't remember. Oh, an input. Oh, man. Oh yeah, Flare. This morning while I was walking my dog, I was trying to remember the old name for Rive, and I couldn't think of it. And that's it. It's Flare. All right. Transition properties only to customize. I just want to turn it on. You know, the other thing we could do is literally watch a video about this. Timeline keys. Oh no. State machine is what I want. I think. Where's the state machine? Here we go. State machines, single animation layers, layers in mixing layer order, transition. Okay, this feels promising. Who wants to watch a YouTube video on YouTube? I don't. This may be an ad. Boo. Oh, Marcus Brownlee! Yay! My dog's here, by the way. I'm scratching him because he can't. Oh, you're not. I don't think this is going to send any system audio through. No one's going to hear the video except me. That's really unsatisfying. That's not how we want to live. The duration property describes how long it takes for a transition to occur. Don't care about that. I couldn't care less about the duration right now. I just want to be controllable. I've been joined by a very needy husky. Exit time, don't care about that. Pause when exiting, don't care. Conditions. Without conditions, our transitions would continuously fire and our state machine would either look glitchy or only play a single animation. Conditions require us to define some inputs, which you can read more about here. Okay. Yeah, this is what I want. So, all right, add a new condition. This seems correct. So to add a new condition to a transition, hit the plus icon. That makes sense. Now, each new condition provides a dropdown showing all of the inputs you've added to the state machine. Have I added any inputs yet? Don't remember. Oh, you're on blend. I don't actually... Oh, blend additive. I have no idea. Okay. Anyway. Wait, how did I make a new condition? The plus icon next to the conditions section. Now there clicked on the state, was it? Was it here? There we go. Conditions. So entry to timeline 1 is when is hovered. Maybe this isn't the default. Maybe it's the value that moves it. Oh, Nikki, you're the best. Keep saying things that are helpful. Click on the arrow icon. You see the panel show up by the side. In the panel, you set the condition that triggers the animation, which is what I just did. Nikki, you keep typing helpful things. Thank you. All right, so that's the condition. Cool. So maybe this, what I don't know is like, will this already export enough for me to interact with it in code? That I don't know. I must keep reading. Configure a Boolean. Each new condition provides a dropdown. Yeah, we just saw that. The configuration options will be different depending on the input type. Note that you can select multiple conditions to create an AND transition. Good stuff. Configure a Boolean. When you configure a Boolean, you decide the transition happens when it's true or false. Yes, so this is the triggering condition, not the default. Number, don't care. Interpolation. By default, it's linear. That's fine. Listeners, is this what completes the loop? Listeners give designers the tools to make their state machine take their state machine one step further and define click, hover, and mouse move actions that can change inputs. Amazing. This seems like it's the shortcut to what I want because I read the word hover, which is what I want to do. And it's under my head there. Hover. So for example, this button does not have listeners attached to it. If we click the button, nothing happens. We would need to change the inputs directly in the input panel to make our button react. That's a button without a listener. I see. But we will begin to have a button with a listener. Once we add one, we'll notice that now when we click the button, it reacts exactly like we would expect it to. Okay, that is what I want. So I'm going to create a new listener. To create a listener, use the plus button. I'm going to check now. Is Nikki just telling me what to do? All right, Nikki must be typing. I'm just kidding, Nikki. No pressure. Oh, yeah, the transparent Flutter logo. It's because it's teal. And the chroma key matching of the green screen behind me, it just picks up teal like 100%. Which is funny because they're pretty different. Am I part of the Flutter Real developing team? I am on the Flutter developer relations team. So my day job is to talk about Flutter. Which is what oh my gosh, Nikki was typing. Nikki. Okay, for you to see the condition work, you'd have to start the state machine. Wow, what an absolute expert at all things Rive. To start the state machine, click on the play icon in this. Okay, wait. Was I doing that? Oh, interesting here. And now if I check this, oh, it is still going, but that's okay. So yeah, play, no effect because it depends on the condition. Maybe we don't even need to do a listener. We can actually just be successful with the, wow, that's so cool. Oh, and you know what I bet? I bet. What do I bet? What the heck was I going to say? Oh, yeah, timeline here. If I go to ping pong, state machine, let's see now if, so I'm clicking play, nothing's happening. Is hover, is it just going to do one thing? And, oh, ping pong also loops. Okay, never mind. I lost my bet. Nikki to the rescue. Nikki to the rescue. Yeah. All hail Nikki. The question is, can I already drive this from code? I have absolutely no idea. Let's go to the runtime Flutter. Are you going to tell me how to do this? All right, and see animation playback. Okay. See subsequent runtime pages. Oh, I guess it's not going to be like Flutter specific from here on out. So state machine is what I want. Playing and changing. Okay. Flutter looking good there. Oh, state machines. Bumpy. Where did this name come from? I don't know what name I would use here. Oh, we're already ready. Yes, definitely need to update code for sure. All right. I wonder what value I need here instead of bumpy. Are we just copying and pasting Nikki's messages? It's one way to help me see them, I guess. All right, so I'll actually read this. Rive state machine provides a way to combine things programmatically. Once a state machine is instantiated and playing, transition states can be accomplished by changing Boolean or double values. All right. So yeah, where's another value here? All right, state machine controller. So we've got state machine from artboard, which takes the artboard and some state machine. The name for that, I guess, would be state machine 1 for me. Let's give this a machine name. State machine. All right, I'm going to export and do the song and dance again. Rename untitled to button.rive. Drag that in. Replace. There it is in the code. All right. So back to the documentation. So we need an artboard, right? On init. Wait a minute. State? Where? How? Oh. On init. Wait, who's calling on init? Who's calling you? Where's that happening? Is on init defined down here? Oh, here we go. So the Rive animation. Oh. So we play on init. Okay. On init. Oh, does this have to be stateful? I don't know. Maybe. I'm just going to convert it now. Void on init. Oh, right. I have to pass it the artboard. That thing I was wondering about. Artboard. Art. Okay, checking chat again. What has Nikki explained to me while I wasn't looking? Is it wild that Craig hasn't slept properly since he came home from South Korea? Or did you finally sleep? Actually, I got a great night's sleep last night. Full 8 hours. Yeah. Yeah. No, I slept pretty good. Gotta say. Okay. Got the artboard. South Korea is so fun, though. Oh my gosh. I love South Korea. What a wonderful place. All right. So, got to make a controller. Doop-a-doop-boop-boo. And I named my state machine, not some state machine, but state machine. So you're the controller. And is active is false. Add controller. And then we set state. Oh, okay. And then where do I use that controller? Just anywhere else. Oh, I see. That makes sense. We have to actually kind of store this value. And we store the value after we add the controller to the artboard. I see. That makes sense. So I will do the same. We have a controller. Now we're sorry. What was it? Well, this controller. Oh, art. Art is where we add the controller to. Got it. So art add controller takes the controller, and then controller equals controller. Cool. Now I haven't done this is active is false thing yet. And that's how this one's turned on. I was going to do hover. So I could put like a, oh, why are you mad now? Invalid constant value. Drives me nuts. My least favorite thing about Flutter development, other than updating the Flutter version, is juggling the const keyword. I just want the editor to do that for me. What was I going to do? I'm going to wrap this size box in a gesture detector. Gesture detector. And I now will do controller.isActive equals false. And in the gesture detector, we'll say on hover. All right, what's the problem here? Oh, there's like a hover widget. Is it hover detector? Hover widget. Mouse region. I haven't used the mouse region widget in a minute. So you probably take a parameter, don't care about the parameter. So now we'll say controller dot is active equals true, and we have to wrap this in a set state. Okay, I'm going to check what Nikki's been explaining. Okay, Nikki is explaining a lot because that's how Nikki rolls. Remember to define your input in the code as well. Haven't done that yet. Thank you. Just as we define the state machine controller. All right, so this would be more precise than the isActive thing. So I probably don't need to do isActive. That's what you're telling me, is that I need to do the input. And then we'll set the input to true. Raid is just amplifying Nikki's messages. isActive will determine if it does anything. Yeah, we don't want it for this. Correct. Cool. All right, so input, state machine input. All right, what's the name of this class?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Oh, controlling state machine inputs. This is the example that I want.
Find input. Oh, baby. Where was that? What was that on? Oh, interesting. Okay. A SMIT trigger? What's a SMIT trigger? State machine input trigger. Oh, it's not SMIT trigger. It's SMI trigger. State machine input trigger. Great. Okay. Bump. And for us, that was hover. Is hovered. We'll give it a name that isn't total poop. Now we grab it and paste it. And you go to is hovered. And you are controller. And you are is hovered. Oh, okay. Old docs. Happy to find him for you. You feel free to return the favor. Go to flutter.dev or docs.flutter.dev. Find some stale docs. Tweet about them. It'll be a little, we scratch your back, you scratch ours situation. All right. Inputs. Got the thing. Looking good. Saved the input. And then we create a fire. Oh, interesting. Okay. So is hovered is what we're going to actually play around with here. And it's not null. And I don't know. What does fire do? I'm not confident. Oh, change to true. Ooh, okay, cool. That's good. And then to turn it back off. So there's like on hover exit or something probably. Whoops, come back. On exit. There we go. Oh, on. Let's do on enter here. On enter. On exit. All right, so it looked like advance was what set it to false, which is that was not what I would have guessed. But okay. I guess it makes sense. Yeah. Advance is probably a reasonable term for like the non-Boolean ones. So okay. I don't know if this will work, but I'm gonna run it. Oh, I see. We got the new API here. We can do get bool input name. So, okay. That's fairly similar. I'll change it in a minute if this works. Oh, we've got a warning. You're now getting a trigger instead of a Boolean. Those are two different input types. Wait, what? You're now getting a trigger instead of a Boolean. Those are two different input types. Yeah, I think I always thought I was getting a trigger. Oh, well, there is an error. So maybe this is what you're trying to tell me about. Unhandled type SMI bool is not a subtype of thing in cast. All right. Well, I'm going to write the code that you're telling me to write. So this would be state machine. Oh, wait. So the code that you said was state machine.get bool input. I have the state machine controller. So maybe that's what you meant. So state, no, get bool input. There it is. And the name is hovered. And then what does get bool input return? This returns an SMI bool. Well, I'll just name it that. And then is hovered fire is now no longer the right method. So let's go to SMI bool and see what method we want. There's the controller. Oh, interesting. So we just say controller.set input value with the ID, which is nope, not really sure here. SMI input. Wait, is this what it was before? SMI input? No, it's SMI trigger. Oh, is that what you're saying here? Is that I have, yeah, I want SMI bool. Okay, cool. That's what we got. Change the cast to SMI bool, and then is hovered dot value equals true. Aha. Great. Okay, that actually, I do like that more. I felt like the fire, I mean, obviously I was just using the wrong thing. So dot value equals true. But the fire and the advancing, I was feeling a little weird. Something felt not 100% right. This seems nicer. Refresh. It's starting. Oh, it has started. Okay. No animation. Hover. Hey. Stop hovering. Oh. All right. We are set stating again. I presume this error is in the editor because, and I don't mean the editor itself has screwed up, but I think I have caused this issue because when I click play here and hover, it goes. And then when I uncheck this, it doesn't stop. And I feel like that's related. Set state not needed. Okay, that's good to know. And I think the reason, or why, whatever the reason is that this isn't stopping, and of course I'm just pulling this out of thin air. Gordon, you may have an actual idea. Nikki may also know. Our two relative experts here. It feels suspicious because this behavior is a lot like what I'm seeing in the actual app where it's not stopping. So that might be the final way to make this happen here. Oh, conditions entry to timeline 1. So what I don't know if I need like another a transition that's like we leave timeline 1. Yeah, that's it. We need a transition to another state that is idle or default, which I don't have. But that's okay. This stream has gone on long enough. That'll be an exercise for the reader. All right. That was fun. I had a good time mucking around with Rive. First time I've ever used it. And I'm just full disclosure, I'm working on a very, very simple little video game that I expect to want to use Rive on. And so it's finally time for me to learn it. Have a look at Expression UI. I had Dane on the show quite a long time ago to talk about filled stacks. I have not looked at Expression UI, though. I haven't heard of it. So thank you. I'll check it out. I do love Dane, though. He's really, really high quality developer and just a great dude. Really, really wonderful person, as far as I can tell. I'm a big Dane fan. All right, folks, that'll be it for the Rive stream. Next week, I'm going to be traveling because I'm visiting my sister for her birthday and to meet her baby. I've just become an uncle for the 4th time. So I'm going to go see my new nephew. And then I will be back. And then I think I'm mostly back for the rest of basically the year. Been a lot of travel for me this summer, but second half of November and second half of October into November and December, I should mostly just be around. And I've got a lot of guests already queued up. So much fun stuff. Sadly, I just had to reschedule on someone for next week when I'm going to be visiting my sister because I forgot. And I'm just not good at this. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. A lot of fun episodes, really cool topics. People are going to be on demoing just some of the dopest stuff you've ever seen. Actual experts in the field, not like me learning Rive for the first time. But thank you all for suffering through this with me. Thank you to Gordon and Nikki for being great knowledge wells of how to drive this Rive animation. And that will be it for today. And I will see you all in the next episode. Cheers.